Welcome back, everyone. I am so very excited to introduce everyone to Jon Roller and Kenneth Lowe from Horsley Bridge, who are here today to present to us client insights, how to drive software adoption successfully, whether or not you have an IT department. This is sure to not only be informative, but engaging, and I would also bet highly entertaining. So during the session, please make sure to drop any questions that you have into the chat window. So we will address those during the Q&A at the end of the presentation. Thanks. See you back here in just a little.
Oh, John.
Hey, Ken. The managing directors are always talking about how they aren't just making investments, they're making long-term partnerships with the groups they invest in. I just got to have a meeting with the MDs, and they'd like us to pull together a deck that they can share with the venture groups.
Okay.
The VCs would like to see something that they can share with their SaaS investments on the premise of the deck is driving software adoption. You think you can pull something together?
That's a tall ask. I'm going to need a long time. Maybe 5 minutes?
All right, just give me a holler.
Okay, we'll do.
Thanks.
All right. Let's make some coffee first. All right, so what I'm going to say in this presentation. All right. It's been 4.5 minutes. I think it's time to call John back. John, I'm ready.
All right, Ken. What do you got for me?
All right, so I put together a quick PowerPoint as you asked. You want to take a quick look at it?
Let's see what you got. Hey, were you able to catch Adam's roadmap session yesterday? Really insightful stuff. A lot of good content in that. I will say, I hope Adam's feeling better today than he was the day after his presentation last year. Anyway, anything that stood out to you?
Yeah, the dashboard actually looked pretty amazing. I think we have to contact Paula to get more information. Our marketing team, I think, is going to go gaga when they're able to visualize finally the fundraising pipeline.
Totally agree, Ken. All right, what else you got here?
Okay, so I threw together an agenda, but let's jump right into the presentation without causing too much boredom. Is that cool?
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome.
All right, I like this first slide, first family of Asgard. We spend so much time in the office that we start to feel like family. And now that nobody else is really in the office with us, start to feel like the first family of the office. Every successful software implementation needs the first family. You need the Odin type executive sponsor. The executive sponsor is a respected leader, someone that's going to keep the family together, keep things moving in the right direction. Sponsor helps solve problems at a high level, and they make strategic decisions that's in the firm's best interest. They also own the budget and keep everybody accountable. As CIO, I'm often in this role. It's a good thing that I spend plenty of my time in the underworld, though, because that's where I was able to find my real-life Thor to be my product champion. There's several things I look for in a product champion. Cool catchphrases is, of course, the main thing, but I also look for thought leadership and adaptability. I need someone that's very capable of helping me on a journey. When I was interviewing Ken for the product champion at Horsley Bridge, there was one story Ken told me that stood out. Ken joined an early-stage cosmetic company and helped run it. Like me, you probably think, well, yeah, what's the big deal? Ken knows everything there is to know about cosmetics. Well, it turns out he knew nothing about it. But he took the job as a challenge, and he dove right in and learned everything he could to make it a success. That's the type of champion I want by my side on any type of journey.
Oh, thank you, John. You're far too kind. Speaking of product owner, and I think that having one foot in each world is really a challenge, but it's also a very important role. Having to answer to the management team internally, and also being able to relay the information back to the end users. That kind of like reminds me of Thor traveling the Bifrost between the different worlds, the Earth and the Asgard. All that. That's really what the role of a product champion does really well. And also the success of a software implementation really rides on this product champion. Having sometimes a cheerleader, sometimes have to be a authority figure. You're gonna have to again, switch on and off a little bit. But then that also take us to the super users role. We're very lucky to have someone like Victoria. She stepped into this role big time. She didn't have a lot of CRM experience, never used Backstop before, but she was able to get into it because she was very trying to come in with a very fresh mind and perspective, trying to learn everything about it. And then she's able to package this and then take it to the other users. So having her has been a godsend.
Yeah, totally agree. She's been great too. All right, what else we got?
All right, let's talk about ships.
Oh, sweet. The Millennium Falcon? It's my favorite.
No, John, partnerships.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Well, sometimes a vendor's just a vendor. When we're evaluating products and vendors, we're always looking for somebody that we can really partner with. If I'm in a bake-off between Salesforce and Backstop, I'd much rather partner with Backstop. I want a vendor where I'm valued as a customer, not just another pretty face. There's lots of ways to build a firm partnership with your vendor. Hey, Ken, do you remember the first year we went to Backstop Beyond? We asked our relationship manager to set up meetings with several of the team leaders, sent over really detailed agendas that we wanted to cover with each of them. What kind of response did we get from that?
Well, at first, they rolled a red carpet for us. They project our names on the big screen in the lobby. But then we walked in all suited up like Men in Black. We got our briefcases, and then we drop it off in the conference rooms. That's when it got real. But I think the turning point is when we're doing the office tour, and they happen to have a planking competition. So we roll down our sleeves, we join them. That's when we started the bonding.
Yeah, who won that planking competition? I don't recall. Do you?
I don't quite remember. I think we had too much to drink the night before.
Oh, all right. Well, what else we got here, Ken? I know where you're going here. I'm going to say there's nothing I like better than a morning coffee break, especially when I'm enjoying my New York bagel in the morning. Bagels are always better with Ronan and Fidel dropping knowledge in the background.
Isn't that great? I mean, Deanne's team, the knowledge management team, they're so hard at work. They're producing product documentations. We're always using that to kind of help build our cheat sheets internally. And also they have these one-on-one sessions, which are really helpful. And we send a couple of our end users to take those lessons, and they always come back with really positive feedback. And on top of that, we have the annual event such as the Beyond, and in the past, they also have the regional events, the Connect. I still remember, I think it was right before you hired me, you actually met me at one of the Connect events, and I was on my best behavior. So I hope you didn't have any regrets.
That was probably the only time I've seen you on your best behavior, but I admired the dedication of you showing up to something before you were actually hired for the job. So, that just goes back to you being a champion.
All right, thank you, John.
Easy. I don't know if anything's easy in 2020, Ken.
Oh, John, let me see if we can change your mind.
What's this message of the day thing about, Ken?
So that is the very first thing when you land on Backstop on the very homepage, you actually see a little session. And then this is a message that we can make announcements and broadcast. Those office hours that we've been hosting, that you've been skipping, is actually announced there. And then, where people come in, they drop by, they ask questions. Sometimes they're too embarrassed. part of it is for me to blame. Sometimes I ridicule them for asking me questions. But this is actually a very powerful place where we put announcements. We also have some links to some cheat sheets that we created. For example, we get tons of questions about how to log back into the Outlook plugin. So in order to help people do some self-service, we put a link prominently in there on the very first page, which is the message of the day. That makes sense?
Sounds good. What's this
Yeah.
alias thing about? Are you are you Jennifer Garner? Are you like a double agent working for both Horsley Bridge and Backstop?
No, there's actually a way for us to be searching an entity by different names. For example, sometimes we're known as Horsley Bridge, sometimes it's HBP. There's no easy way for people to search by multiple names. So we actually find a creative workaround because the other ID can actually be repurposed. So we figured that out, and then we drop that into the client-defined entities, customize the screen, and then whether you're searching for HBP or whatever nicknames that I'm not going to say publicly, it will still end up finding the entity. So that has been a very helpful user trick.
That makes sense. And I think you mentioned the cheat sheets. I think the worst part about COVID is I had these great laminated cheat sheets in the office, and now that I'm home, I don't know how to find them. Where are they?
So, John, I can't have you an lamination. That's kind of like before my time. But all the cheat sheets as PDF forms, they actually store within Backstop. If you go in, look for HBP information systems, go into the documents, you can find all the cheat sheets that Victoria and I already made.
Got it. Ken, before you joined Horsley Bridge, training was like the Cheesecake Factory menu. Page after page of options, paralyzing. Too much information. How'd you manage to solve this problem when you got here?
John, I got it mapped out for you. Can you see? Respect my authority. That's the way. Jokes aside, during one of the quality check-ins with the MD, I was told that they didn't necessarily need all the ways to get to certain functionality. Even though some click sequence may take 5 extra clicks, they wouldn't mind as long as it's more intuitive. So from that, my biggest takeaway is that give them just the one way. You don't have to give them the entire manual. Give them the most direct. Sometimes it's a little bit more click that's more. For example, finding the activity search manual. Our users typically go into an entity first, and then they'll go find the documents and all activities. And activity search is always there. Instead of telling them to go into click on the hamburger menu and go some places, just tell them that. And they actually have been very thankful.
That's awesome, Ken. Now that everybody's trained and has their SaaS driver's license, they're all excited to hit the cloud running 100 miles an hour. How do you keep them from colliding in midair?
We beat speed with more speed. So we have built-in automated reports to catch exceptions. For example, certain of our activities are meant to be tagged with certain activity tags, and then those people who, despite numerous reminders, they still don't put in the right tags, they get caught, and then we go after them ruthlessly.
Ruthlessly? What do? You pull them over and tell them to get their hands on the dashboard?
OMG, do you mean the new Backstop dashboards? So this new feature that Backstop is rolling out, we're able to get a hand, and we're able to do a quick prototype. So remember earlier I told you about this fundraising pipeline that we could be now visualizing. This is good stuff.
I don't know, Ken, maybe you are a double agent that's working for Backstop too. All right. What do we have for the people here? Let's summarize real quick.
All right. So, oldest beard.
Make the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs.
Coffee meets bagel.
The success of any trap lies in fundamental simplicity.
Respect my authority.
And if you remember one thing from today, it's that the mind is the only weapon that doesn't need a holster. I like Backstop and I cannot lie. You investors can't deny. When they all walk in with an agile platform and a software with ease of use, you get pumped. And you need more time because your day is stuffed. Zoom till 3 p.m., meetings till I don't know when, and good gravy, I need a learn session, an RM connection. Everyone's trying to tell me, get an ownership committee. Ooh, got that RM and a quarterly check-in? Well, use them, because it's a partnership for the win. Driving up your adoption now. Got a lot of authority, train with accessibility. Take the average meeting and show them what? Backstop's got to strut. So owners, has Backstop got the goods? Hell yeah. Then partner up with us. Backstop got your back.
I have no words. It's really hard to compose myself. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you. I love every second of that. I thought it would be hard to top Adam's laugh yoga session, but wow, that was great.
I wish I had Adam's wig to wear underneath this hat.
Oh, I love it. I also want to shout out to the Patrick Bateman poster or picture in the background. I absolutely love that. So we're going to kick off before I waste more time of our Q&A. So the first question we have is, Ken, I think you went through the build ease of use slide very fast. So what was the point you were going to make about client-defined entities? I saw my name on that slide, and I also saw that you assigned me a task. So I just wanted to make sure, what was that?
Yeah, so the client-defined entities, the CDE allows you to do the different views. So it can really speak to you and your end users really well. So for example, where you put the fields into the right place, into the order that you want, that makes it extremely easy. And the key salient point there is really the other ID that we can repurpose as a field, as a searchable field. But if you want more information, you're going to have to go to the blog and then find more information about it. And then there will be more links that's coming up soon. But you see all the details about how we actually pull off the CDE redesign.
Great. I will make sure to check it out. Ken, you also had something about the Excel toolkit on the slide about auditing and enforcing hidden gems. Can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. So the schedule reports, they actually can get the different database objects really, intuitively. You can just drag and drop the fields. There will be times you have to kind of link 2 or 3 tables together. So that's when actually you're going to pull everything into ETK and then do some cross-referencing, such as the VLOOKUP, the XLOOKUP, and so forth. And then you're able to get basically a joint report of all these different tables, activities, entities at different levels. So that's what I was referring to.
Great. So Jon and Kenneth, what do people do if they don't have a Jon and Kenneth on their team? So in Jon's case, he is the Odin, but what if there is no chief investment officer at the firm to own Backstop? How do you get the exec team to designate a first family?
Yeah, I think a lot of clients don't have kind of the setup that Horsley Bridge has. But what kind of the key takeaway is you have to have ownership somewhere within the firm. And whether that's somebody on the executive assistant team or an office manager or somebody in finance, it can really be anybody, but there really needs to be somebody that owns it and brings the team together and helps really drive the project. And that person can be the liaison that goes to the management team and and really says, here's why we need this product. Here's why this is important to the firm. Here's where the KPIs are that are going to help, move the firm forward. So whether that person resides in any different group within the company, there definitely needs to be that kind of one person. And then once you have that person, it's really about building a team around you, and those team members can be from anywhere. So it's just really about finding the people that you trust and the people that you want to bring with you for the journey along to get something installed.
It's great. We have a question from Rocio, and I apologize if I mispronounced that. What is the biggest challenge when adopting new software, and how do you suggest it should be handled?
Wow, there's going to be a lot of challenges. I think the biggest challenges are being able to adapt to the bumps in the process. So, any installation is almost never going to go smoothly. If it does, call me and tell me, what you did, because I want to know. But be able to adapt to those things along the way, and keep everybody involved. Depending on how long the installation of the software takes and the adoption, there's going to be fatigue and things like that within the firm, and it's hard work, and people are also typically doing the rest of their day job along at the same time. So really getting people to be involved and kind of keep their heads up as they go through it. I think the biggest challenge is just adapting to anything that gets thrown at you and doesn't go smoothly along the way.
It's great advice. We have another question from Kyle. So you guys share a lot of great tips about how to work with a partner like Backstop, but what does all of the effort buy you? Why do you want to spend so much time leaning into them, and what does it get you?
Well, I'll go first, and I'll let Ken add on to it. I think the reason we take that mentality is we're involved with that vendor, and that vendor is going to add features and things to the product as we go along. And we want to have insight into where is that roadmap, where is it going, how is that going to benefit Horsley Bridge? And it also gives us a chance to give feedback along the way. Are we able to add, any suggestions or things along the way that'll help the product team, do things that'll be beneficial to us, or to add feature sets or changes that, we would like to see. So while we want the vendor to ultimately be successful and provide the best platform they can, the ultimate benefit is for Horsley Bridge to get the most out of the platform. And that's why we really look to take that partnership. Anything you'd add to that?
Yeah, great point, John. And I would like to add to that is the division of labor. You guys are the software experts. You guys know the platform inside and out. And our core competency is selling, our products, funds of funds. So we come in with the institutional knowledge, and you come in with the technical knowledge, and that's when the partnership really merge and it's a nice fusion together. So it's like a beautiful baby.
Well said.
I think I speak for everyone at Backstop when I say we love having partners like both of you. And so on that note, I'm just really curious, John, where did you get the cop costume?
This is an official Keystone Cops outfit, I believe. This was, I think, my Halloween costume from about 2 years ago. And I saved them because you never know when you're going to need to repurpose a good Halloween costume. You can never have too many.
I agree. I have a tote under my bed with many, many years past Halloween costumes and random wigs, just in case there's an emergency. We have another question from Victoria. So what are some suggestions that you have to keep enthusiasm going in using Backstop? Backstop's many/ever-growing features. And this is going to be the last question before they kick us off screen.
You want to go first? You're on the front lines there, champion.
So I would say honey and vinegar. It's really a mixture. Honey is when we have, we host regular office hours to unload the nice features, as if it's a prize. It is a privilege to come join to be using these new features. And obviously, we have cupcakes, we have booze, we have different goodies along with the training session. That's the honeypot and the vinegar. As we have all this automated auditing report. So if someone is not really compliant, we'll give them a little helping hand.
Yeah, I think the thing I would add to that is always looking for the positives. I mean, 2020 is a great example of that. There's lots of things to complain about and things that we didn't anticipate, but you always have to look for, the things where I get to spend a lot more time with my kids when I'm at home and they're at home. Little things like that you kind of look for the hidden gems of things that you wouldn't have got to do. So pointing out how bad things used to be before you were on Backstop and things like that of, reminding people of, things are far better even if there's bumps in the road as you're going along.
Well said. Well, I want to thank you both so much for that insightful and hilarious and wonderful presentation. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jon and Kenneth. It was great to have you.
Thank you. I got to go field some calls from my agent.
I am sure that you do. So now, everyone, it's time for our final break and challenge activity before we have our final presentations. You do not want to miss the client success showcases. And don't forget to tune back in after they're done for the announcement of the winner of today's dating game. So make sure that you play the trivia. This is your last chance to score some points and win some amazing prizes. Thank you.